back to another video. Today we have the Pleasance house in the Sims 4. I'm like recreating it, and now don't worry if you've never played The Sims 2 or you don't know who the Pleasance are, because I'm going to tell you EA's big juicy backstory that they have for them in just a minute. But I do want to say I do have an announcement later in this video, which you have to keep on watching to hear, obviously. And I am just going to put out a disclaimer that I do realize that this build, while it is very, very similar to the original, like, as far as structurally, like, it is on point. It's exactly the same, with just a few minor changes that are mostly cosmetic that I think that look just like a really tad bit better. But compared to the original, I'd say, like, this is pretty darn good. Like, all the rooms are what they're supposed to be. They're all shaped the same way. Like, everything is, like, the same. But, however, I did decorate this house slightly different from the original. Now, it's more of just kind of like a style choice, just because obviously The Sims 4 doesn't have the same exact furniture that we did in The Sims 2. So I kind of just, like, instead of just like going object by object and like saying like, oh, this looks exactly like the one in the Sims 2, I picked things that looked like the Pleasant family and things that I think that they would have, but just like overall just kind of like looked better, in my personal opinion. Like, it just looked like it belonged with the family in the house. So if you're wondering, and like you're a hardcore like Sims 2 fan and you're like, oh my god, do you have like this room is not colored that way and stuff like that, I did it on purpose just because I think like recreating this house is more about like how it structurally looks rather than how it is like exactly from object to object. So if you're wondering why I did that, it was on purpose. Otherwise, I feel like you guys are going to be really pleasantly surprised with this house, because and maybe it's just me, but I'm actually kind of proud of this build. I think it turned out amazing. Like, I thought it was going to turn out a lot worse than I thought it was. Like, I didn't think it was going to look anything like the original, but I think it looks exactly like it, especially on the outside. Except for, like, on the original, they had these, like, one thing that was, like, extremely bothering me. And on the second level, they had a, like, chimney kind of place where I'm kind of, like, building right there. I know this, like, build has a little bit of pauses, but it's probably just me looking up, like, at things, like, at pictures and stuff. But, like, the second floor from that, like, I guess that, like, part that went out, like, the chimney kind of, like, looking part, in my opinion, or just, like, the outside part, was like really uneven. And like, I will insert a picture for you guys, especially, I think I will at the end. I'm not sure if I'll insert it while I'm talking to you right now, but I'll insert it at the end so you guys like know what I'm talking about, for sure, because it was super, I don't know, kind of like annoying. And like, I could have built it kind of like that, but I didn't want it to look like that, because it kind of just looked more of kind of like a mistake to me rather than like part that like should have been there. And even too, like, on that kind of like, you know, like that diagonal part that kind of comes out on the first floor, I put like a little planter box over it just to decorate it, make it look a little bit better from the outside, so it just didn't look like, again, like a building mistake. But yeah, those are the only structural changes you guys will see. And I also only changed the half bathroom on the first floor in the original house. They had a half bathroom right next to a full bathroom, but in my opinion, it just seemed kind of silly, and I think 2 bathrooms are enough for a four bedroom. I mean, for a 4 people like household. So I just put a laundry there. I thought it'd be more appreciative, I guess, now that laundry day is out, that you guys would enjoy it more. But yeah, if you want an exact exactly like it is in The Sims 2, then you can always replace it with half bathroom. But I kind of enjoyed the idea of a laundry room more. And yeah, otherwise, I'm curious to think if you guys think I did a good job, because I think I did a good job, but maybe I'm just biased because I'm the one who created it. But yeah, I like the way it turned out. And I am going to actually just go ahead and tell you guys like the story now, now that we got that out of the way, because I know that there's always going to be like somebody who's like not going to be happy with it, but I can't please everybody, okay? I tried my best. And basically the Pleasants are a family in The Sims 2, which are actually a really, really they're a really, really big family of Sims 2, okay? They're kind of like almost like the goths of The Sims 2. Like, they're just like a really big family. Personally, they're my favorite family to play in Sims 2. Like, I love this family. I played with them so much. However, I was really young and I didn't realize how like juicy their backstory was. It's like almost like a flippin' drama. My god. And there is Mary Sue Pleasant, who is the mother. I can't remember her exact job. I think she was a lawyer or some kind of like in the law career or something like that. And if I remember correctly, she had like kind of like a good job or something like that. And she was at work actually while something really juicy is gonna happen, but I'll tell you about that in a second after I introduce all the characters. And then there's Daniel Pleasant, who is the father, and there is Angela Pleasant, and Lilith Pleasant. And Angela and Lilith are like the OG or the opposite twins. Like, I really truly feel like the opposite twins, like kind of like tag thing, kind of like originated from them, because they are the OG. Like, Angela is really girly and she's kind of like considered like the good twin, like the good girl, and while like kind of Angela is kind of like dark and edgy and kind of like plays by her own rules kind of thing. She's more of a rebel. And we're gonna get to their drama in a minute. The girls are teens, by the way. But let's talk about like the parents' drama, because the parents have some real drama. Starting with Daniel Pleasant. Okay, so the game kind of insists that Daniel is kind of like going through a midlife crisis, because he is in the athletic career, if I remember, and I don't remember his exact like number that he was in it, but I do remember that he was in the athletic career, which made it kind of like odd that like if he was in the athletic career that his like body level was kind of low. And what I mean by body level is that The Sims 2, if you never played it, that doesn't work like The Sims 4. You can't make your sim have any kind of body type like The Sims 4 can. I think that's kind of great, you know, because we get so many diverse sims with so many different shapes and sizes, and it's kind of cool, like real life, and like I find it really like really cool, you know, really amazing that you could do that now. But The Sims 2 had like three different body types: fit, kind of like the average, or kind of like I guess more normal type, whatever normal is to you, and kind of like more thick. And he was in between, like almost like to being thick, which kind of like the game like wants you to think like he doesn't take care of himself. He's kind of like going through like a midlife crisis, and he's having an affair with the maid. And I feel like that's where it kind of gets juicy, because when you start out the game kind of like wants you to make a choice, because Mary Sue is coming home very, very soon from work. It either wants you to like him catch you in the act, catches her catch him in the act, and then like I'm sorry, I can't talk today. Her catch him in the act of cheating, or for him to like come clean about it and like work it out. So like kind of like choice is up to you whether you kind of like want to divorce them or not, or if they're gonna work through it, or what they're gonna do. And I think that's kind of like super duper intense, like for like a Sims game, and it was pretty cool. I mean, I obviously in The Sims 2, like I didn't really know what was going on. I was like a child and stuff like that, so I never like really played with that aspect. But like I just thought that was like really juicy. And anyway, a funny thing about the maid too, a side note, is that she's actually not only involved with Daniel Pleasant, the dad of the Pleasant family, but she's dating Don Lothario, which comes to no surprise, because Don Lothario, I'm sorry, is notorious for being like the resident, like, you know, like how do I put this nicely? Like, I don't want to say, Okay, I can't explain it, but you guys know what I mean. Like, he's just not a nice person. He dates a lot of girls, and he is a little bit of a man W. You know what I mean, right? Okay, let's move on. And if you don't know what that means, then you don't need to. You're too young. And he is just like so anyway, like Daniel, he's just like so like in over his head. Like he just kind of like he made this choice, and like he's gonna like lie in it kind of thing. Like I honestly want to play this family and kind of like really just like really see what's kind of like what would happen like if I played with this family in The Sims 4, because I think it's kind of cool. But anyway, I'm gonna get to that later. And so Mary Sue is kind of like, she's kind of like, I think she is adopted. Yeah, she's adopted in her original family. And she is what I think she is Japanese American. But the game never tells you for sure. At least I don't think it does. But I'm pretty sure she's Japanese American. While her husband is like a redhead. And yeah, they have their two girls, Lilith and Angela, and the game kind of insists that Angela was kind of more the well taken care of one. And I say this because The Sims 2 had like a memory system where after something good or bad would happen to them, they would like remember it in like this like memories tab, and it was super cool. I kind of actually wish that we had that back in The Sims 4. I think it was kind of awesome. But and it always shows us good memories for Angela, but not Lilith. And to add to that, and like they have like this like little pop-up before you like begin pre-made stories that kind of like tell you what's going on, which is super duper cool. And there's like pictures of like all these great things happening in Angela, and while Lilith is kind of like, you see her more sneaking out and kind of being bad and stuff like that. So there's kind of like a kind of there's a definite sibling rivalry between them, because like Angela and Lilith of course don't get along. They have a really bad relationship. And yeah, while Angela is like really good at school and stuff like that, and Angela's kind of, I mean, Lilith's kind of like not. Lilith I think is like a D student, while Angela is like a B or something like that. So they kind of want to insist that like she's bad for like that reason and stuff like that. Although I really don't although I feel like there's like some things like about The Sims 2 that I feel like were a little bit more stereotypical and stuff like that. Like I feel like definitely they were more like kind of like cut and dry about weight, and like the fact that like Angela's like a good girl because she gets like fantastic grades while Lilith is not, and stuff like that. But I really don't feel like that's why Lilith is a bad person. Honestly, I personally don't like Lilith, because whenever you play with her or try to play with her, at least for me in The Sims 2, she would always like have like a negative effect like with everybody that she talked to, and it was really unfortunate and stuff like that. Even though that Angela and Lilith actually have kind of a similar personality, they have different likes, but their aspirations are both the same, which I kind of found really interesting because they seem so opposite, and they are so opposite. But it's just kind of funny how it's just like two sides of the coin all have like a kind of common aspiration, you know? And I'm kind of sorry too about like me taking a pause here. I probably just like took a break or something like that, or went to the bathroom, because this was like a really long build. It took me a long time to build, but it's okay because I'm gonna keep talking to you guys. And it's kind of interesting. Okay, so going back to that, Angela is kind of like, of course, like the good child, and she doesn't sneak out and stuff like that. But the game like says, or it says that like Daniel and I think the mother too, I'm not sure about the mother, that they don't like Angela's boyfriend, and Angela's boyfriend is Dustin Broke. And I'll talk more about the Brokes in another another build, because I kind of want to do the Brokes house too, and I just might recreate the families. I am, but yeah, so she's dating Dustin Broke, and Dustin Broke is kind of like not the best, how do I say, he doesn't seem like the best person on the outside, which really, if you really got to know him, which doesn't come to much of a surprise, oh there we go again, actually is like he's doing bad things, but for the right reasons. Now, the reason why he does this is because Brandy Broke, his mother, is actually pregnant when you begin the game. Like she's just becoming pregnant, and he has like a toddler brother. So of course, like, his mother isn't working, and he kind of like is in the criminal career track. And he doesn't have good grades, which I kind of find that he does that to provide for his family, not because he wants to, but because he feels like he has to for survival. And so his like parents don't really think that Dustin is a good influence on Angela and stuff like that, when really, like, Dustin is the one who's kind of like keeping the family together. There is also like a really big mystery that kind of like goes on like with the Brokes too, but I'm going to talk about the Brokes in another story. So if you guys want to hear about like their issues and their kind of like the mystery behind the Broke family, you guys should go watch that. But yeah, so that's kind of like Dustin's and Angela's kind of like situation. So then because of that, they seem really opposite, but in my opinion, I kind of always thought they were kind of a good couple together. Honestly, I kind of would like them to kind of make it in the end and see Dustin actually be successful and kind of like not have to, like, you know, like kind of not always have to be like the one that everybody relies on. Like, I'd like to see him be happy for some part in his life, and him make choices for him, and him like make good choices for himself. And yeah, so there's that going on. While Lilith kind of dates Dirk Dreamer or Darren Dreamer. I don't remember which one's the dad and which one's the son. So she dates him. I don't really know much about the Dreamers. I actually should look them up on like the Sims Wiki, and maybe I can like make them too or something like that. But yeah, so she's dating him. She kind of doesn't really have a lot going on other than the fact that she's like known as kind of like a bad girl and more edgy and stuff like that. But I do really think that like Lilith, I would like to see Lilith actually grow up and make her own choices in her life and not feel like she has to compete with her sister. So I feel like that's like the whole like storyline with her sister and her. They don't get along. I kind of would hope they would get along sometime in their life, which is why I kind of like feel like the Pleasants are like an interesting family. They seem like this like family that's like really perfect, and they're meant to be because like Pleasantville, which is a town, like one of the default towns that you get in The Sims 2, is actually like named after them. So it kind of like wants you to think like, you know, like they're like that. They're like that poster family, you know, like kind of like a sitcom family and stuff like that. That's like a model family for everybody, but they really have so many problems behind closed doors, and I feel like that's why it's so interesting. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go on to like my little, I guess, announcement. And my little announcement is that I'd actually would really like to rebuild Pleasantville into The Sims 4. And I think that would be so awesome because I can actually recreate these characters that were in The Sims 2, and the ones that we have in The Sims 4, like we have now, I can give them like Sims 2 makeovers. And then when I'm all done with this like project, I can actually make it like a download link for you guys to like have as a tray file and to use in your own games. And I think that would be really awesome. And when that comes along, I'll show you guys how to actually put save files into your game and stuff like that when it's all finished. Like, it's not difficult like at all. I guess it would be a little difficult for me figuring out how I'm gonna give you guys this like download file and stuff like that. I'll have to like look that up, but I think that's such a fun project that I can do with you guys. And you know, I can do like some really iconic houses here on the channel, like just as like speed builds if you want, like, you know, like Don Lothario's house, you know, like the Brokes I'm gonna do pretty soon and stuff like that, and even like the Goth household, like Sims 2 style. I can maybe even do that too, and it would just be such a fun project. Like, I'm so excited about that because like I haven't seen anybody ever do that before. Like, I've seen people do lots. Like, someone did a really good park for Sunset Valley, like the Sunset Valley Park, and it was really amazing, like from The Sims 3, and that was so cool. But I've never seen anybody do it like for like a whole save file, like especially for The Sims 4. And and I think that would just be so cool. And yeah, I just I just thought of that idea, and I thought it'd be fun. Of course, it's like a project that's gonna take me such a really long time, but yeah, I think it'll be fun. So yeah, comment down below too if you guys are like super duper excited about that. And yeah, I'll be recreating characters, giving characters makeovers, maybe sometimes I'll do it on stream. And yeah, we're coming on up to like the end of the build, so if you guys really enjoyed this and you guys are looking to see more from me in the future like that, you know, like, give me a subscribe. Follow me on all my social media, including my blog down below. I have plenty more build videos you guys can press in the right hand corner, and I hope you guys enjoy the screenshots. I will talk to you later. Bye bye bye.
Thank you.